like to welcome you all in the second tutorial regarding statistical techniques which we can use in Excel. In my previous video, I've talked about that how we can apply basic math functions and also the basic statistical functions on a grouped and ungrouped data. For reference, if you have not watched my previous video, so I will put the link of my first video in the description so that you can have a reference from my previous lecture. In today's video, I will talk about the measures of location examples starting from descriptive statistics. When we talk about descriptive statistics, so it is a branch of statistics which is used for summarizing and describing a set of data numerically. If you look at this diagram, descriptive statistics, you can see that we have three main areas. The first is the measure of location. In the measure of location, we have mean, which is average, median, which is the central location of the data, and the mode, the observation which has repeated maximum number of times in a given set of data. Then we have measure of shapes. In measure of shapes, we have skewness and we have kurtosis. Skewness is when we draw the distribution of the given data. So normally, if it is symmetric, if it is balanced, so it look like a bell, and its both sides will be equidistant, will be the same. But if there is a tail of the data which is towards the right side and the mount shape is towards the left side, so we can call this type of distribution as positively skewed. If the tail of the data is towards the left side, so we call it as negatively skewed. And similarly, the kurtosis. So all these things I will explain in the middle of my discussion. Then we have measures of dispersion, which tells us about the variation in the data. So we have range, interquartile range, we have variance, we have standard deviation, and we have coefficient of variation. So in this lecture, in this discussion, we will talk about measure of locations, the three measure of locations, namely mean, median, and mode. So we will calculate all these three measure of locations for both group data and ungrouped data. So I will start first with the ungrouped data. So let's have a look how we can calculate these measures of locations for ungrouped data. As you can see in this example, the table below shows the monthly overtimes are worked by 20 employees. So we need to calculate what is the range. So this data set, it is basically a monthly overtime hours of workers, 20 employees. So here the requirement is first we need to calculate the average overtime, and the second we need to calculate or identify the overtime hours which are less than the average, and then we need to calculate a percentage. So the range in this question, we have to calculate the range. It is very simple. So let's answer all these things accordingly. The range they have asked in this question, but it's also a part over here in number 4. So I will calculate it once I calculate average for this question number 1 and 2, and then I will answer the rest of the requirements. So let's have a look at the average. It's very simple. To calculate an average, we can write average. You see, press equal sign. When you write average, you will get a formula. Double click on it and then select this data set, comma. No need to press comma because we have selected the full data set, and then click enter. So we'll get an average 28.3. The next is to calculate that how many employees have overtime hours less than the average. So here we can use a COUNTIF function, press equal sign, write COUNTIF. There are two, one is count ifs, one is count if. So you will have to select count if. So once you select count if, select this data, comma, and then in inverted comma you will have to write your condition less than average. So this is the less than sign and average is 28.3, close inverted comma and click enter. So we have 8 observations which are less than the average. Then we need to calculate total. Calculate the following for the above ungrouped data and round off to 2 decimals. So here to calculate total, I'll press equal sign, we'll write sum, double click on the formula and select this data set, click enter, we'll get total 566. Then maximum, which observation is the maximum in the given data set. So we can use a formula, built-in formula called max. You double click on it, select this data, click enter, and you will get the maximum number in the given data set. And then minimum, similarly for minimum, we have min, minimum, and select this data again, click enter, and then this will give you 2. The minimum observation is 2, the maximum observation is 53. And range is basically a difference between the maximum and the minimum. So maximum is 53 minus minimum is 2. So this will give us a range which is 51. Now if you look at it, the descriptive statistics, we need to calculate measure of location. So mean, mode, median and skewness. So you can see mean, which is average. All right, average we have already calculated above. Just for the sake of your further understanding, I'm just selecting it, average 28.3. Then we have a mode, equal sign, write mode, double click on the formula and select this table, data set. You will get mode 52. Then comes median, so you can write MED, you will get median formula, double click, select this data set and then click enter. So you will get a median. Then we have skewness. Skewness, as I said, we check that whether the distribution of the data is symmetric or not. So if the tail of the data is towards left side, so we call it as a negatively skewed. If it is towards the right side, we call it as a positively skewed. And if it is perfectly balanced, so there will be no skewness. So we have a formula for skewness, SKEW. You just double click on skewness, SKEW, select this data and click enter. So it will give minus 0.07. It means that this data is negatively skewed. Now, following we are having some more requirements. Amongst these requirements, majority of the requirements I have already answered. For example, total, maximum, minimum, mean, mode, median, etc. Up to number 6, all these requirements I have already answered above. So what I'm going to answer now is we need to calculate variance, and see this column is highlighted in yellow. So what I'm going to do is next to this column, the formula for reference, the name of the formula is also mentioned. So simply click equal sign, we need to calculate variance, we'll write VAR. Okay, select this and then select this data set. You can just click enter, you will get a variance. Then we have standard deviation. So again press equal sign, the formula we'll have to use STDEV, and then again select a data set. You will get standard deviation. Then comes skewness. So skewness I've already calculated, no need to calculate it here again. If you want, you can calculate it. And then how many employees overtime, meaning the observations in terms of total number, how many observations we are having. So this we can use a built-in function called as count. Double click on count and again select this data, click enter, and then you will get this total number of observations. How many over times more than 10? So we can use countif function. So here press equal sign, write countif function, double click, select this observation data set, comma, within inverted comma you will have to write your condition which is greater than 10. Click enter. So we have 16 observations which are more than 10. Similarly, we need to know that how many over times less than or equal 15. So again we can use countif, double click and select the data set, comma, inverted comma, observations less than 15. So here you can select this and within inverted comma you will have to write less than or equal to 15. Click enter, you will get 6. So total observations we are having 20, and the overtime data which is more than 10 is 16, and the number of observations which are less than or equal to 15, we have 6 observations like that. So this example we have done, this is for ungrouped data. One thing you need to keep in your mind that whenever you are dealing with ungrouped data, you will get most of the formulas you will get built in. So we can use built-in functions, built-in formulas of Excel uh, to apply on ungrouped data when it comes to total, maximum, minimum, range, whatever, and mean, median, mode especially, and followed by uh, variance and standard deviation and skewness. Okay, now let's have a look the other side, which is a group data. Ungrouped data is given in the raw form, as you can see that merely numbers only. And when we talk about group data, so group data is always given in the form of classes. So let's have a look at the other example of group data. Now you can see here that examination results for a number of students are given in the table. So this data you can see it is converted in the form of classes. We have different set of classes, and also we have uh, frequency, like students who receive marks between 40 to 50 we have 2 students, 50 to 60 we have 8 students, 60 to 70 13, so and so forth. So this is what called as a frequency. Now frequency, we have all these numbers, frequency numbers, we need to add them, and once you add these numbers you will get total frequency. Okay, now we need to calculate average or mean for group data. Now the formula for group data is given over here, that mean is equals to summation f of f multiplied by x, meaning first we need to make this column fx. Now do we have x? We do not have x. As we have discussed in the previous video lecture, that x is basically the midpoint of the class. So we can calculate it first. So midpoint of the class is, how to calculate midpoint? Lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So 40 and 50 will give you 90, and when you divide it by 2 you will get 45. And similarly 50 and 60, 110, when you divide it by 2 it will give you 55. So there will be a sequential difference of 10 10 in the following numbers. So here I'm going to write them. So this is what the variable x, which is a midpoint. If you look at the requirement, when we were calculating average for ungrouped data, we were simply applying a formula, and this formula was giving us the average. But here, since the data is a group data, so we will have to use this formula that you can see, summation fx divided by summation f. So what we can do now, that this is f into x, so here I'm going to multiply, this is f and then this is frequency, this is the midpoint x. So click enter. So this will give us fx. Now I need to know what is the sum of fx. So here in home screen I will click here auto sum. So sum of fx is 29 30 2930. Now look at the formula. The formula says that the mean is equals to summation fx divided by summation f. So I will apply this equal sign. What is summation fx? This is summation fx, the total, divided by summation f. This is total frequency. Just click enter and then you will get average. So this is how we can calculate average. The next is about median. If you look at the median formula, it says Lm plus Wm summation f by 2 minus cumulative frequency before and divided by Fm. To make it more simplify, what I have done is I have listed all these variables in this formula here in this column: Lm, Wm, sum f2 and cumulative frequency before and Fm. In the group data, first of all, we need to identify the median class, but before that, we need to we need to calculate cumulative frequency. So I'll show you how we can calculate cumulative frequency. The first frequency is 2. It will come as it is. Then you'll have to press equal sign, select this number and the following frequency, click enter, and then you can drag it down. So cumulative frequency column we have already calculated. If you want to check your cumulative frequency column is correct or not, so the last number of cumulative frequency column in the CF column, it should match with the sum total of frequency over here. So when we first thing, before calculating the median of a group data, we need to know that which class is a median class. So to know median class, we can first we'll have to calculate summation f upon 2. So on the basis of summation f upon 2, we can identify median class. So just have a look. What is summation f? Summation f is this 42 divided by 2. So it comes 21. Now this 21 we will have to search in the cumulative frequency column. So here is the cumulative frequency. So this 21, you see this is 10, this is 23. So the number you are going to search in the cumulative, if you find the exact number, so you will have to stop there. If you do not find the exact number, then you will have to select the following number. So here in this column, I have not found 21, but the number next to 21 is 23. So I will select this. And this way, I will select this entire class and I will highlight it. I will highlight it in gray and then I will give it a name, median class. So this is what our median class. Okay, after identifying the median class, we can put the values for these variables. So what is LM? LM is the lower limit of the median class, which is 60. I will write here 60. WM is the width of the class. So width of the class is 70 minus 60, it will come 10. Cumulative frequency before the median class. So cumulative frequency before the median class is 10. So I will write here 10. And frequency of median class is 13. So I will write 13. So after keeping all the values for all the variables, now I will apply the formula accordingly. So you just have a look here. The first one is LM, which is the lower limit of the median class. Then comes plus WM, which is the difference of upper limit and the lower limit. Then comes multiplication open bracket, summation of pi 2, we have already calculated 21, minus cumulative frequency before, which is 10, close the bracket, and then divided by frequency of median class, which is 13. So simply click enter, and this way you will get median. Now we need to reduce our answer up to 2 decimal places. So you can go to home screen and you see this button, decrease decimal. So simply you can decrease decimals up to 2 decimal places. So this is what our average, and I'm highlighting it in yellow. This is our average. This is our median for this given data set. The next is about mod. We need to calculate mod of this data also. So mod formula, we have mod is equals to L plus W D1 divided by D1 plus D2. Now what is mod? The class which has the highest frequency is the model class. We'll have to identify a model class first. So if I look at this data, you will see that the class which is having the highest frequency is this one. So here in our example, the median class and the model class both are same. So no need to select it again. So here I am just going to write over here mod of this data. So here it will be, let me write over here that the lowest limit of the class, it was 60 and width was 10, and D1 is the difference between the frequencies, the model class and the class before. Like you see, this is 13, so 13 minus 8 will give you 5, so just write 5 here. And D2 is the difference of model class and the class which is following model class, 9, so 13 minus 9, it will give you 4. Now you can put these values into formula. So it is L plus W, which is 10, then multiply D1 and then divided by D1 plus D2. So it is 5 plus 4. Enter. So here it comes mod. We can reduce the decimal places, 65. So I'm just highlighting it. So this is how we can calculate average, median and mod. Okay, now have a look. We need to calculate mod graphically also. So graphically, I'll show you how we can calculate mod. Numerically, we have calculated using formula. First, if you want to calculate mod graphically, so you will have to select this data, the classes and the frequency. Once you select them, just go to insert, and there you'll see the bar charts, column or bar chart. Click over here and select the first one. So it will come like this. Now I'm just going to drag this graph to its place. Here. Now when you double click on the bars, you will see a screen on your right side, and you see there these are the bars, and there it gives series overlap and gap width. So first of all, I need to remove this gap. So what will I do? For the sake of removing the gaps between the bars, I'll change all these values to 0. I'll put 0 0. When I put 0 0 and click enter, when I press enter, then what will happen? All these bars will join each other. There will be no gap between them. The second thing is, I will have to click on this. As you can see, this small bucket, color bucket, you click on it. It says fill. So as of now, the default color of these bars, it shows blue. So what will I do? I will click no fill, and in the border I will have to select solid line. That's it. So after doing this, the graph, it looks like this, as you can see over here. Now we need to calculate the mod graphically. So how to calculate mod graphically? It's very easy. Uh, what will I do? As you can see, this is the highest, frequency. This 60 to 70. You see the height of the bar is the maximum as compared to the other bars. So these bars on the left and right of the highest bar. So I will draw a line from the lowest bar on the left side to the top right of the highest bar, and the top left of the highest bar I will join the top right of the right side bar together, and then at the point of intersection I will draw a vertical line to get the mode. So let me get these lines. So I'm just going to search. Here it comes, shapes. From the shapes I will select this line, and you can see from the left side, when you bring the cursor at the top of the left side bar, which is joining the tallest bar, so you simply click and then you draw a line like that. So this is the first line. The second is, again I will have to draw a line. So I will get this shape. From the shapes option I'll get this line. You can see here two lines I have drawn. Now at the intersection, these two lines are intersecting each other over here. So then I will draw one perpendicular to the base. So you can see I will select this time arrow, and at this intersection point I will draw it down. So the point where it is bisecting this class, this is basically a mod, sorry, this is a mod. So you can just have a look here, that mod we were having, it was 65.5, it is almost 66. So you just look at this, the width of this bar. So this line is basically it is not exactly dividing in the middle, but somewhere on the right side. So this is how you can calculate the mod of the data, and it is telling that whatever we have calculated using formula and through this graph, it is correct. Now you will have to estimate the mod graphically and comment on the shape of the distribution. So you can write in your comments that the mod of this distribution is 65 point, approximately 65.5, and moreover you can just comment on the shape of the data. Whatever logical comment you want to make over here, you can do so. So this is what we have discussed about, that how we can calculate measure of location for group data. The next is, you remember that at the start I have shown you the measure of shapes, so which is called as a skewness. So let's have a look that how we can calculate skewness. So this is the next slide, you can see over here. Now here we have a data. We have a data over here. We need to calculate the mean, mode, and median for this data. Now you see we have a data related to, this is what 8 part-time students took part in a survey, and their weight in kilogram were recorded, as well as their monthly salaries in reals. They were also given an early test. The resulting data is in table below. So we need to calculate, this is ungrouped data basically. So we need to calculate the skewness. So now I will calculate the skewness also here under this at the end of the data. But before that, let me calculate mean, median, and mode. So very simple, press equal sign, write mean, average, double click on it, and you can select this data, and you click enter, you will get 61. Similarly, the mode, equal sign mode, click like this, select the data, then click enter 61 and then write median. So MED, median, select this data again, click enter. Here you can see in this weight related data, mean, mode and median, all three are equal. And just look at the rule. It says that when mean, median and mode all three are equal, they are same, so we call this type of data as symmetric. Okay, so we can check it, like if I calculate the skewness, SKEW, and select this data, click enter. So skewness will be 0. 0 means this is perfectly balanced. It is just like it is exactly a bell-shaped distribution. So whenever data is perfectly uh, balanced, symmetric, so in this case, all its measure of locations, including mean, mode, and median, will be the same. Okay. Now, I have already calculated for income and the test percentages. I've already calculated uh, the mean, median, and mode of income and test percentage related data. For income, if you look at it, here you see for income we have mean is more than median. You can see mean 525 is more than median and median is more than mode. So in this case, if this is the case, so then we call this type of distribution as positively skewed, meaning the tail of the data, it will go towards the right side and the mount shape will be on the left side. So we can check it through skewness. So press equal sign, SKEW, double click, select this data, click enter. So skewness, you see it comes positive 0.8924. We can reduce the decimals, 0.89. So this is what I've mentioned in the comments also. The distribution of the students' incomes is positively skewed. Because why it is positively skewed? Because mean is more than median and median is more than mode. Similarly, if you look at the test percentage data, I have already calculated its mean, mode and median. Here you can see that the mean is less than median and median is less than mode. If this is the situation, then we can say that it is negatively skewed. The tail of the data is towards the left side. So left, it is called negatively skewed or left skewed. So let's confirm this uh, through this skewness formula, SKEW, and I will select this data, click enter. You see it comes minus 1.33. So it means that the tail of the data is towards left side. So again I will adjust its decimals to two decimal places, so minus 1.3. So the distribution of the student test is negatively skewed because mean is less than median, which is less than mode. So I hope you would have understood about this. The next slide, I mean next sheet, there is a data set, and in this data set you can, this is for exercise purpose only. uh, I have already given you the idea how you can calculate average, mode, median, range and skewness of ungrouped data, and the logical formula where you can apply the formula, COUNTIF formula, to identify that how many salaries are more or less or equal to the average. Then you see this data regarding frequency distribution for trees heights in meters. So you see there we have classes, we have frequency, and you need to calculate mean, median and mode. So here you will have to calculate first the midpoint, then you will have to calculate f and frequency multiplied by midpoint, and then the next slide you will have to calculate cumulative frequency column, and the rest of the steps are same as I've done in the group data example. So this way you can calculate these values. This I'm leaving for you to practice. You can just extract this data, put it in Excel sheet, and then you can calculate all these measures by yourself. And also the same way, the way I have calculated mod graphically, the same thing, you can select these two, you know, height and this frequency data, and you can draw a graph, and then afterwards you can calculate mod graphically also. This in this data, though it looks similar, but you might get different, mean, median, and mode in this example. This is just similar to this example, as you can see, 50, 55, 58. So here you can see this is more or less same, but you will have to, there will be some variation. It might come some variation. So you can apply the similar operations on this data to know whether it is positively skewed, negatively skewed, or there is no skewness in the data. So that's all uh, for this lecture. So the following lecture I will make on quartiles for group data and ungrouped data, and measure of variations, like we have seen standard deviation and the variance of group ungrouped data, and also coefficient of variation, etc. So if you like this lecture, and if you are benefited from it, so just like and share this video. Also click on the bell button so that you will get the intimation of my next video that will be uploaded very soon. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Stay blessed.